Beautiful. Nice, huh?
Yeah.
That's my opening. Welcome to the very first episode of Talking Story with Augie. I'm Augie Toba. Welcome to the show. Look, I'm excited to be here and I'm excited to talk to you because that's what the show is all about, talking story with you, because I think everybody has a unique story. So in the future, if you know someone who might want to be on my show, to talk story with Augie, you can direct message me on Instagram at Augie T. So I had to get a crash test dummy on my very first show because it's sometimes difficult when you just starting out to do something new. A bunch of my friends that I called, and then early this morning they all started canceling. So I had to ask my daughter, who will be on this station doing her B.R.A.V.E TV show. So my crash test dummy for my very first episode is my daughter, Mahealani.
Yay! Hi. Hello, everybody. Hi. How's it going?
And I know you got to go to Vegas.
Yeah, I have to go to work later, so I'm just,
Okay, so
I'm here. It was last minute, and I'm like, I'm ready, so.
Well, it's good because, we can talk about your upcoming show here and all the things you're doing for B.R.A.V.E, and then I'll let you go so that you can make your flight to Las Vegas. You want to tell everybody what you do besides running the foundation?
Well, I'm a flight attendant for Hawaiian Airlines, so I travel a lot. I'm always off island doing lots of fun stuff. Just like maybe a week and a half ago, I was in New York. I went to an ITZY concert, so that was fun. I was only able to do that because of my job, so thanks. But when I'm not traveling and, looking at the world and experiencing different cultures, I'm here running B.R.A.V.E. And just living my life. It's awesome.
You want to tell everybody what B.R.A.V.E is all about before I start asking you the difficult questions?
Yeah, okay. So B.R.A.V.E is my foundation. It's an anti-bullying nonprofit organization. B.R.A.V.E stands for Be Respectful and Value Everyone. I started this foundation when I was 13 years old because I was bullied in the 5th grade. And at that time, I didn't really know what I wanted to do in terms of getting over my bullying situation. I just knew that I was being bullied and that it was a really difficult time for me and difficult time for my parents too. So after my parents were so attentive and so awesome and they really helped me get out of that situation, I thought, what else can we do to help children that have been through the same thing as me? So we started B.R.A.V.E. I wrote my own book called It's Okay to Be Different when I was 11 years old. And because of all of our advocacy and everything that we're doing, we're able to touch the lives of so many students and children and parents and adults. And it's just really great and awesome to be able to have so many opportunities because of, tragic event that happened in my childhood.
Yeah. See, and that's the reason why I wanted to interview her. Eventually I was going to get to her. I never know it was going to be the very first show because she's just a natural when it comes to interviewing, and the hard part was just trying to get her up this morning to beg her.
I know he texted me call me, and I'm what?
Yeah,
so I
call.
I'm like getting out of bed. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
He's like, I need you to do the show today.
And how close are you to?
Literally, I heard him talking in the other room. I hear the fan going on in the background, and I'm like, are you still in bed too? Okay, I guess.
Mom was like, you guys are talking too loud. I go,
yeah, Mom's asleep.
I'm trying to get convince Mahea to be my first guest. It's like, what happened? Mr. Matos went to the ER this morning. So, perfect way to start the very first episode of Talking Story with Augie. Okay, how difficult was it in the beginning, starting the foundation? Because I can tell you my side and how difficult it was. People just kind of, not believing. We were having such a hard time, gaining support. But how hard was it in the beginning?
Well, the great thing about how you guys, Mom's over there, if you're wondering. That's why I'm looking over there, because Mom is sitting there recording. The great thing that they did was that they kind of kept the negativity that was towards our foundation from outsiders away from me, which was nice. And I was able to just really focus on the things that I wanted to do and the ways that I wanted to give back. So really the hardest part for me was just balancing out doing community service and being, being in pageants while also still being a student. because I was in middle school, I was in high school in the peak of, everything that we were doing. So just being able to balance all of that out was probably the hardest part for me. I know you guys had different things like you were saying,
it came about through pageantry, and that anti-bullying was your platform. You did it so well that you created the foundation based on, this idea that you had, and was silly because at times other people started kind of taking our idea and making their own.
Well, yeah, I mean, at first it was like, oh, well, this is just whatever. Like, you're just a little girl and you're just doing your own thing, and where's it gonna go in the next couple of months, whatever. And I was like, whatever, fine, but I'm just gonna keep doing it because that's what we're doing. And eventually it got to the point where it's like, oh, this is serious. Like, this is a real thing that you guys are doing, and it's more than just, one little thing that you made up for a pageant because you needed a platform. So at that point, it's like, oh, now we're making waves. Now we're like putting our foot out there in the community, and people want to get a piece of that now.
Well, leading by example, because it's important, like you start something, you gotta take the lead on it, and you cannot just, have something and say, this is what I'm passionate about, and then it disappears. It disappears, right? So like, I'm very proud of your work. I'm very proud of the things that you have accomplished, because you went from reading books to little kids to doing middle school, high school, and then really using B.R.A.V.E as a platform to start pageantry because you wanted to help other girls.
Yeah, I mean, when we first started doing all of this, we didn't know where it was going to go, right? We were just doing it to help people. And, eventually you keep up with it, you keep doing the things that you're doing no matter what people around you are saying. And eventually you get chosen to be the, Prudential Spirit of Community Award recipient for high school of 2018. And that was awesome. And you get to be chosen as the Diana Award recipient, and you get recognized by the United Kingdom. So it's pretty awesome that just from something that started so small is able to grow so big just from, passion alone.
Yeah, so you have the pageant, you're going to do this TV show, letting people know more about B.R.A.V.E, and you have this new thing called Be the Star. You want to explain? Because I know you're watching like American Idol, America's Got Talent, and you had this crazy idea, right?
Well, besides community service, I'm also really big on performing arts. If you knew me in high school or middle school, or since I was, 6 years old, you know that I love to sing, I love to perform. So I've always seen it as a way to give back to the community, a way to share your story, maybe in just a different sense of standing up there and just flat out saying what your story is.
Right.
And I know there are a lot of other people, a lot of kids out there who also have a talent that they want to show. Maybe it's not necessarily singing or dancing, but they have other talents. Maybe they're a comedian, or they're a magician, or, they're good at slam poetry or whatever it may be. And we wanted to give kids an opportunity to really showcase those talents and show not only their community, but the world what they have to offer.
That's awesome. So how can people be a part of this, Be the Star competition?
So it is a competition. It's a talent show. And how it works is you go on to bravehawaii.org, you sign up on the Be the Star competition tab, and you send in an audition. So you can either sing, dance, act, whatever it is that you do, whatever your talent is, you send it, you fill out the form, you send your audition, and then after the audition period is up, a board of reviewers, I guess we can call them, will look at all of the auditions, and then they'll pick finalists, and then those finalists will compete in different qualifying rounds for the grand finals. And then the winner, there will be a grand prize winner, and then a second place, third place, all of that.
It's so funny because I'm asking you questions of stuff I already know. so it's going to be happening at B.R.A.V.E Center. All the elimination rounds will be happening at B.R.A.V.E Center, eventually leading up to the finals, and we're giving away cash, awards, prizes, and we have so much, great people supporting B.R.A.V.E. Again, it was a small idea that now is continually growing because of just, the love for our community.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, you ready for your first hard question?
I think so.
How awesome of a dad am I?
He's great.
Look at mom is like,
She's shaking her head over there. No, he's awesome. Okay.
No, don't lie now.
No, I'm not.
Okay,
Okay, because I work in the public, right? So I meet a lot of people, and people always come up to me and they're like, "Oh, Tolba, are you related to Augie T?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's my dad." And they're like, "What?" And then they're always asking me questions about you and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just so interesting to hear what other people think about you.
Yeah.
Who don't like personally know you.
How grouchy I am at home.
No. They're just like, oh, he does great things for the community, and he's really out there for the people, and blah 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 and all that good stuff.
You know what's happening? You know what's happening right now, right? Mom is in the dark going, yuck.
Yeah, that's probably what she's thinking. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, that's
No, but he's awesome. He's a great dad. Sometimes he has his moments where he's like a little grouchy and a little, like, okay,
Well,
he's on the rampage.
I wear 3 hats.
But most of the time, he's good and he's fun and he just likes to have a good time and make sure everybody else is also having a good time. So.
Well, I appreciate that. And I appreciate you, wanting to do all these good things in the community. So what do you like most about your job now as a flight attendant? Because I know there's probably kids or, parents that's watching. Like, I was excited for you because I'm thinking, man, if I'm 24 years old, I get to travel the world and see things. I never got to do that until I was like maybe 14, 15. But like that, like really helped me see like, Hawaii is so small compared to what's out there. And, you're a little jaded because Mom and I, took you many places prior to you becoming a flight attendant. But now at 24, a good career, what's it like?
Well, the schedule is hard. I think any flight attendant will tell you that the schedule is hard, especially when you're first starting out. I'm only 2 years in, so I'm still, kind of down there in seniority, but that's okay. I'm able to go to all kinds of awesome places that I've never been to before. I was able to go to mainland Japan for the first time because of my job, which is awesome. It's such a cool place. And not only are the destinations cool, but the people that you meet on board are really awesome. Sometimes they have amazing stories to tell. I met like a producer on board once, and he had like a huge stack full of just scripts of all kinds of like weird stuff. And he was like, he handed them to me and he's like, "These are trash, you can throw these away." And I was like, because I like theater, right? And I like film, and I used to be an extra on NCIS and Magnum PI. So I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. I was like, can I look at these? And he was like, yeah, I don't care. And I was like, oh my God. So you meet cool people. You meet people who are like going on honeymoons and like vacation, and you meet like really cute kids, and it's just awesome. If you're a people person, really consider it. If you're not a people person, maybe be a pilot instead. Because pilots they sit in their little cockpit and they don't talk to anybody, and it's awesome. Sometimes I envy them, but that's a lot harder than my job, I think.
Okay, what's the most challenging part about your job?
Definitely the training process, I think, was the hardest part. Just being able to qualify to get the job, because it was like 2.5 months of just rigorous training. There was a test like every other day, and if you didn't pass, then you were out. If you were late, you were out. So it's just really stressful. But once you get past that, you have to try really hard to get fired.
No, it's so funny because when you were going through that process, that 2-month process, every time the next day, when you're getting cut, it's like,
yeah, well, I mean,
it was like up until the week and day, Mom and I were like,
oh. Well, I mean, because, you do the tests, right? And if you don't pass the test, you get 1 retake in the whole program. So if you don't make it, then that's it. But then, besides the tests and stuff, there are also like practical things that you're doing and like hands-on activities. So we had to like climb into the life raft. So we went to this like community pool in Pearl City, and it was the big life raft that you see on the safety videos or whatever. And we had to climb in, and it's really hard to climb in there because the rope is just like like vinyl rope, right? It's not like hard. So when you're climbing in, it's like, and you're in the water and you have the life vest on and you're like float, and it's really difficult. I almost didn't make it. So it's like.
And if you didn't make it.
Yeah, if you didn't make it then, you had like one more chance, like after everybody else went through, and then if you still didn't make it, then you were out. So there were a couple people when we were doing that got cut from my group, and I was like, oh my God.
And that's like almost in the final weeks of saying yes.
Yeah,
right?
and then you have to take your final exams, right? So you do the final written test, and then you do the final practical test, which is you have to go into the mock-up room and you have to sit on all the jump seats, and they have to tell you, they have to do all the drills, right? Yeah. And it's like, if you mess up there, you're out. If you fail the test, you're out. Even if they don't, like, even while they're watching you, like, even your attitude plays a part in it too. So if you're, you're excelling and you're all this or whatever, but your attitude sucks, then they can still kick you out.
Wow.
So, yeah. So it's all an encompassing package that they're looking for. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so let's talk about another arm of B.R.A.V.E, which is Miss American Scholar.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about Miss American Scholar.
Well, Miss American Scholar is our pageant. So if you know us, we've been doing, us meaning our family, we've been doing pageants for a long time. It started with me doing it when I was in 5th grade, which was kind of the catalyst for basically everything that we've done, is that I wanted to be in a pageant. And then that kind of just snowballed into this whole life that we run. But Miss American Scholar is our own pageant. It's a community service-based organization.
Explain that, because I know, pageantry in the last couple of years have gotten some really negative, from bullying within the system, from gender identity, so there's a lot of, and people just think you're exploiting girls. So explain the reason why you call it a community service-based pageant.
Well, we're really focused on doing community service. So as directors, we really help provide our girls opportunities to get out into the community, to see the people that they're representing, to really get to talk to them, to get to know them, and to really do their part to making their community a better place. But besides that, we also try to be really inclusive as well. We have people from all walks of life that enter our pageant. And they have such a great time, and they have they make such great bonds, not only with their fellow sister queens, but with us and with the other parents and the other helpers that we have on our team. So it's just really nice to be able to bring so many different people together under the tents of doing great things for the community.
Tell me a success story of one of the girls that's part of our system, Miss American Scholar.
Oh my gosh, there are so many. It's hard to pick just one. There are so many girls who have really blossomed into such wonderful young women. I think all of our girls have a success story, really.
That's awesome.
I think all of them have really come out of their shells and really become these amazing young women and young girls who have their own stories to tell and want to make a difference. I think you should bring them on here and have them talk about it.
No, that's going to be your job.
I could do it. We can do that too.
So we'll feature, Mahea will feature, not only some of the upcoming, I would say, superstars in Hawaii. Maybe one day, the next Bruno Mars, the next Taylor Swift, the next BTS, I don't know, the next Blackpink, right? I notice
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Yeah, we're also K-pop people, if you couldn't tell.
Through, the Be the Star competition, but then she'll be also interviewing some of our state and national queens. That way, people can see, like, this is much more than beauty. It's really young women.
And I think especially with what's going on in the pageant community right now, I think now more than ever, we really need to showcase that this is more than just standing on a stage and looking pretty. Yes, that's part of it, and it feels so nice to be able to look pretty and stand up on the stage, but that's like this compared to like the rest of what pageantry is about. So I think now more than ever that needs to be showcased.
So how can people be a part of Miss American Scholar? Because it happens in January 2025. So how do people watching, if you want to get your daughters involved in something that is community service based? Your girls will sometimes go clean a stream. They'll pick up rubbish. They'll paint, electrical boxes.
Perform at Pro Ridge.
Yes,
all kinds of stuff.
So how can people be a part of Miss American Scholar?
You can log on to missamericans.com and you can apply there. You can also check us out on Facebook. You can check us out on Instagram, miss.american.scholar. Or you can just, if you know us and you see us hanging around, you can just ask us about it.
Yeah. We're out and about, always in the community.
Yeah, totally.
Making sure that, we try to touch as much people as we can. Okay, so, recently the Department of Health asked us to be the spokesperson for children's mental health. You want to tell everybody about that and how they can go to the website?
So we were actually asked to be a part of 2 different PSA campaigns. So they're commercials for Children's Mental Health Awareness Month. And that was really fun. It's been a long time since I've been in a commercial with my dad. So it was nice to, and it was good because it was real. It wasn't like, we were playing parts.
Right.
Like it was us actually, because I was, a child who was bullied and, Children's Mental Health Awareness Month. I mean, I'm not a child anymore, but I was, and I did have mental health problems. So, it kind of works. And I went through what I went through, and, from a parent's perspective, when their children are getting bullied or have mental health problems, it's a little bit different than the actual child's perspective.
Right.
But it was really awesome. The whole team that worked with us was so great, and the commercial came out super well. I haven't seen it on TV as long as it's been up. I think it's done now, actually, but I hadn't seen it.
It's on our website, so you can see the spot. I got text messages from Congressman Brian Schatz.
Some lady from Walmart came up to me and said she saw me in the commercial, and I was like, "Awesome, thanks."
Yeah, as a parent, I think it's super important, to find out what's going on in your children's life. I don't. When you look at this interview, I'm not perfect. There's things that I've done, that I could have done better, but I like doing these kind of PSAs because if, we can correct the mistakes or my mistakes and, raising you and your 4 siblings, we just made, the world just a little bit better. So parents, if you're watching, take the time out to talk story with your kids, find out what's going on in their life. And if they're, if they're being very inclusive, you got to try to do your best to get them out there. So what's one advice you can tell children? Because we get tons of questions all the time that come to B.R.A.V.E and our email. What people don't have to understand is that what we do in the schools is just advocate, and we do community service work. We come up with ways your children can see things differently instead of just one way. But that's all we do in the schools. We bring advocacy. So what's one advice you can give to children watching right now?
I would say, and I think this is what I tell most kids, is just don't be afraid to speak up. I think a lot of children, especially when I was growing up, they felt like talking to adults was like the weak thing to do. Like, oh, I don't want to cause trouble, or I don't want to whatever. But it's like when it's a situation where someone is hurting you, or you feel like you're being affected by someone else's words, being able to speak up and talk to somebody that you trust just gets the ball rolling to get you into a better place. And nobody is going to judge you for speaking up. And I think that's the hardest part for kids to understand, is that it's not a bad thing to get help when you need it.
And there's so much resources. I think,
and especially with just how the internet and the world is now, and people, it's so easy to just, send hate messages to people. And no one has to know it's you, because, you can be anonymous, or you can, make a fake account or whatever. And I think just being able to not swallow your pride, but, be able to admit to yourself that you're not the strongest one in the room, and that you can get help, and those people will help you.
Okay.
is really important.
So we're winding down. Can you believe it?
That
20
was fast.
minutes went like this,
That was fast.
and we're winding down. So let's just recap real quick. If you can let people know how they can be a part of Be the Star competition.
You can log on to bravehawaii.org, click Be the Star competition. There's a little tab, should be right in the front of the website, and you can read the form, send in your audition, and then if you make it, someone will get back to you.
And Miss American Scholar.
You can log on to missamericanscholar.com and click the Enter Now button, which should also be on the front page.
And the reason why
I know that because I made the website.
Yes. And the reason why we're here today is because of B.R.A.V.E. So,
Yes.
you know, again, now that COVID is, you know, hopefully finished, you know, we'll be able to.
I mean, I think it's more like we've learned to live amongst it now.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll be, you know, doing more schools in the next school year. So if people want to know more about B.R.A.V.E., where can they go?
You can log on to BR.Hawaii.org. We have all of our programs and a little bit about what we do there. And if you want us to come to your school or you want us to set up an event, just send us an email. Should be also on there, info@bravehawaii.org.
Okay, we saved the best for last because you're doing some exciting things.
Yes.
You're working on new music.
Yeah.
You want to share with the people as we close out the show?
I am. I'm working on some new music. It's been a while. If you've been around for a little bit, I put out some music a couple years ago before COVID happened, but we're picking it back up now. So we're really excited. We're working really hard. We hope you guys are going to stick around for the journey. We're really excited. Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so-
really all I'll say.
Okay.
I don't want to give anything away.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun year. Very thankful. Very first show.
Woohoo! Yay!
Yeah. And again, if you know someone that I can talk to, because I believe everyone has a story, please direct message me. Follow me on Instagram @AugieT. And let's talk story. Thank you, Mahea, for
You're
being a part of
welcome.
the show. Thank you to David.
Thanks, David.
Our engineer, David.
Woo!
You're awesome, man. Thank you so much. And follow me on Instagram. And thank you so much for allowing me to be here today. You guys are awesome. Have a great day.